Hey YouTube, as shown by your views and click-through rate and comments and voting on the poll, you guys are all over the Ultra League, at least for the start of this week. So we are going to do some Ultra League teams here, starting with Lapras. It's kind of a Beyond the Hype, but the thing with the Beyond the Hype is if you watch the Great League, a lot of that is just transferable to the Ultra League. So Lapras is an interesting one because what made it super good in the Great League is the Psywave Sparkling Aria combo, which is the same here. I use Skull Bash. You have the option to use Ice Beam. Skull Bash better for neutral matchups like water, but Ice Beam way better for stuff like Giratina, which there's a lot of in the Ultra League. So choose whatever one works for you. I just did not want to put a Legacy Ice Beam on this Pokemon because mine was a 13, 15, 15. So I gave up a little bit of bulk there to not have to build a low attack because I already had this built from season 1. This is, as you're going to see, the shiny Lapras is a season 1 Pokemon. That being said, it still worked pretty well. I think I probably gave up maybe some of the bulk with not having like a 1 attack. I don't even think it needs a ton of XLs. I think it needs it gets maybe level 42. But I think it's fine if you just have a whatever IV one. I think it's very useful. Paired with an Annihilape and Registeel, so double to fighting. Normally that's not a huge issue because you could just have Psywave for the fighters. But I did see a Pangoro, and there's also, I didn't see a Scrafty, but there's Scrafty as an option. So it's a strong Pokemon. It is ranked at number 3 or 4. I wasn't sold on that. It does have its same strength that it has in the Great League, right? So the Psywave is chipping a ton. You're going to see me go for Skull Bash a lot. And the reason I go for Skull Bash a lot is because it does, one, it does a ton of damage, but two, being able to boost your defense, I think is pretty valuable in this league. So Fortress comes in. This is me hesitating to figure out what to come in with because having looked at this Pokemon, I know it has Earthquake, so I don't want to come in Reggie. But I was too slow figuring out what to do because I did what you should not do, which is take the super effective Volt switches on the Lapras and then finally making the decision to come in something and take a charge move on it. And baiting here, never bait. So I bait and they get another move off. So at this point, I'm almost at a second move. I'm almost at another move, so I'm going to shield. But I do not love this scenario. But a Slow King does come back in. I do get the Rage Fist off, which will grab a shield or take out. And then I instant swap because I'm under this assumption that you may be weak to Ghost or Counter in the back if they ended up shielding this up. Take the Shadow Ball. Again, look at that's a decent take on a non-XL level 13 Pokemon. So even though this league is a very, very XL heavy, this is a Pokemon that you can get away with a non-XL Pokemon. Dragalge in the back. Again, this is where Ice Beam would have been fantastic, but I don't have it because Ice Beam gets to it quicker, right? So I do think with all the dragons, I saw Guzzlords, I saw Giratinas. I just think that Ice Beam is probably has more play in the Ultra League than it would even in the Great League. And the Great League, you're gonna have a lot of Blastoise and Lapras and mirror matches and stuff like that for alligators. So you can argue that Skull Bash is better. And it's not like those Pokemon don't exist here, but there is also a lot of Giratinas, Guzzlords, other flying Pokemon that you could use it for. So I think maybe Ice Beam's better. But coming in here, almost getting the full farm down, coming out with a move and Aqua Tail, Outrage, Poison, whatever the move is, not going to affect Reggie here because it is a tank. Jellicent, tough. So I probably, I actually can't get out. Actually, I do eventually get out. Again, this is where, I suggested going instead of Annihilape, going with Dust in my top teams. I had Lapras, Registeel with Dust Noir, and I tried to build that team up, only to realize you need 296 XL candies, and I had 80. So a little bit of an issue. So I was like, okay, what other ghosts can fit the bill? And I'm like, Jellicent? Well, no, because then you're doubling to Electric and Grass. So then I'm like, okay, let's just go with Annihilape. So I don't love it because there are Pokemon that really cause you problems, but it was just the best that I could do without having to build up like a ton of Pokemon. Like I couldn't. I can't build up. I tried. I can't build up Grumpig. I can't build up Dust Noir. So we're gonna shield up 2 Blast Burns, which I don't even know if is the right play here. And it is a Galarian Weezing in the back, so that is really rough. A very, very, very spammy Pokemon that's gonna just resist the counter on Annihilate. So not in a good spot here. Jellicent comes in, which all these moves are resisted. Ice Beam would be resisted too, so it's not like I'm giving up a ton here by having Skull Bash. But much like Great League, this Pokemon with Sideways Sparkling Aria, much like Feraligatr, this combo alone can chip the heck out of opponents. And as you can see here, taking a very, very bulky, like Jellicent's like level 48, down to the deep red just with Psywave and Sparkling Aria. So Sparkling Aria is a really good move. Psywave is a fantastic move. Having both of those, even resisted, you're still going to chip a ton. So it makes this Pokemon very, very deadly. In terms of coverage, like I said, I think Ice Beam will give you better coverage for what is the meta. Plus, you also pick up like a couple grass in here. I saw a couple Venusaur today. There's Virizion. So having Ice Beam is probably better overall. And can't quite get to the move here. So gonna go down there. Talonflame. You're half ice, so these Incinerates are actually neutral. So it's not the worst matchup for Talonflame, and because this thing's so defensive heavy, and Talonflame's like a level 50 XL, they do shield, but they would live that. I decide to let it go because, again, I always want to see what this Pokemon can take, and it is a Brave Bird, and it does take me to the red, but I live. So that's okay. And again, if you had a little more bulk on it, probably still gonna be the red, but maybe not as deep. But it's not a bad. It's a pretty nice investment, especially in a meta that is dominated by XL Pokemon, right? It's right up there with Feraligatr in terms of Pokemon that are very, very strong in the Ultra League without needing to rely on XL. In fact, if I just check PvPoke very quickly too, I'm almost positive it's one of the only Pokemon in the top 20 that does not have XLs or Legendary. So yeah, Corviknight XL, Grumpig XL, Lapras at 3 and 4. It doesn't even have XL by its name, even though 42.5, 0, 15, 15 is the optimal IV. So like mine's not 13, 15, 15, not. I don't know if you lose or win or lose a ton. Actually, let me just run that right now as this. Let me just run that right now just to see what the difference is. And I'll run it with Ice Beam just so you know. So mine's a 13, 15, 15, which gets it to level 37. And if you use the optimal rank 1, 0, 15, 15, so you pick up 5.5 levels. So the net is, so the net is win-loss the same, but better average, not surprising, on the bulk. You pick up Blastoise, Corviknight, and Poliwrath with the 0 attack, but you lose Clefable, the Mirror Match Lapras, which makes sense, and then Moltres. But your average is 518 compared to 500. So that extra bulk is just going to allow you to just sustain more damage in a lot of these neutral matchups, and your wins are a little more too. So that is where the bulk comes in. But yeah, so as a top Pokemon, as a Pokemon in the Ultra League, again, Corviknight, Grumpig, Feraligatr is the only other one that's not. Dust Noir, Giratina Legendary, Jellicent XL, Primeape XL, Zygarde, Crazy, XL Gastrodon, Runerigus, Weezing, Clefable, Steelix, Fortress, Registeel. That's 20, and then 21, Drapion, 22, Malamar, 23, Galarian Moltres, 24, finally, Skeledirge. Before we get back to Cobalion, Mandibuzz, Cresselia, XL Credilli, XL Primeape, XL Blastoise, XL Bombardier, XL Florges. Welcome to the state of Ultra League. So, you could theoretically run a non... If you don't have XL Pokemon, now, I know some of these are going to need legacy moves, and it's not a great ABB, but you can theoretically run Feraligatr and Lapras, both as your safe swaps in the back, and then just run something like a Poison, like a Venusaur. A lot of legacy moves here, but something like Venusaur in the front. Venusaur, yeah, so like Venusaur, Lapras, Feraligatr. So something like that could give you some play in the Ultra League if you don't have XL Pokemon, but you still want to play. So Pangoro lead here. Again, tough lead. I go straight into Annihilate, which is dumb. They should have an answer for this. But they don't. They come in Mamoswine, so that's crazy. 2 Pokemon weak to fighting. So with that, I am going to commit to this Pokemon, shield up everything here. So here comes the move. I'm going to shield this up because if you're weak to Pangoro on the front and I don't have a good answer for Pangoro, we are going to try and keep this alive. And there's the Venusaur. I saw a few of these today. I don't know if people were hunting Lapras or what. But I do chip there good. And we CMP here. I'm going to shield because I'm going to get 1 shield back immediately. I get out immediately here because I was like, I'm trying to save Annihilate for the Pangoro. But I think I kind of screw this up. So I'm double weak to fighting and I'm down a shield. So that's not a good scenario to be with a Pangoro that spams like freaking crazy. So close combat, I'll live because I'm a Registeel, which is an insane Pokemon. But the lock-ons aren't going to add up enough. They're going to outpace me here. And I believe they get the double attack boost here too, just to add insult to injury here. Yeah, maybe not on this one. I remember one Pangoro double boosting here. But I also remember Pangoro throwing close combat. So I'm wondering which one this is. Yeah, throwing close combat into that matchup, not ideal. Out comes the Venusaur, and unfortunately just the pacing on this thing and hitting super effective. Nice answer. And when you... Oh, yeah, I remember what I did here. What I'm doing here is I cannot let Pangoro get ahead on energy. So I purposely do not throw because I need energy here because I need to get to a move before they get to a move. So do not throw a move on Lapras. Come and Annihilate. Counter down the Venusaur. Counter down the Pangoro with a Rage Fist boost for the win. Ho-ho. Not even Talonflame. Ho-ho. The only thing I'll say about Lapras that was actually a little disappointing. I don't even know if it affects it in terms of the amount of moves you need to throw. But it felt like in the Great League, you could throw like a bunch of Psy Waves and Sparkling Aria, and that combo would do like 60% on most things. And then by the time you Psy Wave the rest, you're in like the red before you even throw your second Sparkling Aria. So it felt like in the Great League, that Psy Wave Sparkling Aria combo did great. Now, the problem with Ultra League, especially as a Pokemon that is not excelled against a bunch of level 50 XL Pokemon, as you saw with the Sparkling Aria on the Ho-Oh here, not chipping a ton, right? So yes, it's a great move, but it is not chipping a ton. So I tried to snipe here, which is maybe dumb. And now I do not have the Ice Beam, so I need to bait. And I do grab a shield, which is huge, but I do not have any moves. So we're just going to go Sparkling Aria. Sparkling Aria, great move. Like, I think another Pokemon is supposed to get this move. Sparkling Aria does, with stab, 96 damage for only 45 energy. So 2.13. So, like, really nice. Yeah, 2.13 damage for a 45 energy move. You'll love to see it. Especially on a bulky Pokemon like Lapras that can just take some moves here. So we're going to have to commit to the farm down here. Going to respect a fire move or an earthquake move, and it's just a Brave Bird. But that's fine. Farm down here. Come out with some energy for the Giratina. I threw maybe like 9 Zap Cannons. I did not get 1 attack fall. And actually, so I have all the moves set up on my OBS, what I use to make these videos. And so when I copied and pasted Lock On Focus Blast Zap Cannon, they still had the old font from the old like display setup, because that's how long Registeel has not been used, because it's essentially a terrible, like not terrible Pokemon, but much worse with Zap Cannon nerfed. And in the Great League, there's no point to play it when there's 500 ground Pokemon, right? So Registeel has played in the Ultra League. I think it was actually quite strong in the Ultra League. It's just so bulky. But man, in the Great League, it's just not a Pokemon you would ever look at right now. Drapion kind of causes teams a bit of problems. Like aligning Registeel on it's fine here. What am I doing? Why am I shielding that? And they have a Trevenant in the back, and Trevenant is going to kill Lapras Registeel. So this is pretty close to a top left. Right, you can see those side waves. Like it's not that side waves are doing nothing, and the side wave Sparkling Aria combo, because it's so strong, will allow you to really chip and really put pressure on your opponent. I guess I'm getting it down to the yellow just with side wave, so it's not the worst. But I feel like just a Great League, you're just going to put a lot more pressure on with that combo there. Okay, here comes a Shadow Ball. And there is Reggie just taking it like a champ. Here comes a Zap Cannon. It is resisted, so it does not quite take out. I'm going to have to try and make a catch here, or just let them hit you for some reason. I needed to make a catch there. I don't know why I did not. And they come in Drapion, but that allows me to actually get a move off here, which is good. I'm going to have to counter. I'm going to have to... Oh, yeah. I remember this. Counter. Snipe. Beautiful. Unfortunately, counter resisted. Clawed down. Lock On resisted. Clawed down. 1 HP left. So I actually got closer than I expected to, but still ended up losing. Mirror Match. So Mirror Match is good when you can throw a Skull Bash here. So I'll throw it right away to try and lower... Oh, no. Try and boost my defense. And I do, just to get hit with the Mandibuzz. So coming in Reggie with the Zap Cannon here. But Mandibuzz, a tank. And these Dark Pulses, again, I'm Registeel, so it's still going to take like 4 or 5. But still, this is good chip, and they'll live a Zap Cannon. So based on the spam, if you need 5 and I'm going to need 3 Zap Cannons, this is not as bad of a matchup as you think it would be. So here comes the third. And now I'm in the yellow. Here comes another Zap Cannon. And again, for the 5th or 6th time so far in these sets, I do not get the attack fall. I swear it's set to 0 for me, but if my opponent throw, it'd be set to 100%. I can live another Dark Pulse, so there's 4. But now I'm in range of... And they snipe with the Lapras. So that's okay. And they threw. That's okay. Now it's just coming in and countering. I know Psywave is super effective. I'm going to do shield up 1. Just try and get ahead on energy. Not too far ahead, though, because I don't want to take any more Psywaves. Yeah. It's kind of a weird one. Like, ideally, I would counter down to try and come up with energy, but Psywaves doing super effective. It's kind of tricky. And another Wheezing. You will see that this afternoon, because you guys want to see that this afternoon. So we'll skip the event coverage for this week. And just pump out these beyond the hype of buff Pokemon. So Lapras, I think, is definitely worth an investment here. Plays very similar to how you play it in the Great League, with Sideways Sparkling Aria being your go-to combo. Like I said, I think Ice Beam for your Flyers and your Dragons is probably the better option. The XL, again, XL better. 0-15-15 is better than this 13-15-15. However, it's not going to like cost you like 5 or 6 matchups. It's just going to maybe cost you 10 to 15 HP here and there. The net matchups are the same. But here comes the next one. And again, great. Just spam on this thing. Able to take this out from this range. Thank you very much, Lapras. Whoa. Why is my camera's like that? I was like, why is my camera like that? Well, the camera's like that because I have to move it up and down when I shoot my other videos for my other channel. If you are interested in that, mostly politics and economics, link in the description. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Let me know. Yeah, we're mostly... My guess is that I will just do Ultra League for the next 3 or 4 days. So if you want to send me some Ultra League videos in the next like day or two, you're more likely to be showcased. But also, if you are playing Scroll Cup, please send me those videos in the next 3 or 4 days too, because this is on next week. And I would greatly appreciate it if I can get ahead on videos for next week. So if you want to send me those in the next like 3 or 4 days here, that I can start shooting those on like Sunday night and Monday, that would help me get ahead for next week. That would be greatly appreciated. So anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.